everybody, Morgan with EventAnswer here, and today I want to do something a little different. I want to bring you along on my journey to making a cut flower garden. I started this project last year. I always love having fresh flowers around my house, having them for dinner parties and my own private events. And fresh flowers can get a little expensive if you put on a lot of parties. So I decided last year to take up the challenge of building my own cut flower garden. I want to bring you guys along on that journey, from planting the seeds and my planting process to harvesting over the summer and the flower arrangements that I intend to make from those cut flowers. So join me on this journey and we'll have a lot of fun this summer talking about cut flowers. To get started, I did a bunch of research on cut flowers, and first of all I have to say this is not a sponsored video at all. Everything that I've purchased I purchased with my own money, and it's just some tips and things that I've picked up along the way that I want to share with you all. The first thing that helped me significantly was this cut flower garden book put out by Floret Farms. Erin at Floret is a wonderful teacher. She also has a blog and goes into a lot of detail about things even outside the book, and I highly recommend this as a source for cut gardens. She's in the Northwest, but I found that a lot of the information that she gave pertained to me as well here in the Midwest, even though I'm in a different growing zone. So I really appreciate the information that she provides in this book, and highly recommend it to anyone else who wants to start their flower journey. I also recommend getting some kind of notebook that you can turn into a garden journal. I just got this field book here, picked up like a 3-pack off Amazon. I'll try and link it below if I can find it again. But this has been fantastic to document the journey of the flowers, what I planted and when I did that. I also used this last year when I first started, and it's really helpful now, a year later, to look back on all the information I gathered and what plants did well and what places and what died right away, you know. And I had forgotten a lot of those things until I was just flipping through this again a couple weeks ago. So I highly recommend some kind of journaling system that you can keep track of your flower journey and mark what succeeds. You can make layouts, and I'm really excited to do that again this year. And I'll show you in a little bit what I'm putting in this journal. Another resource that I highly recommend is Johnny's Seed Company. So Erin at Floret, a lot of her seeds come from Johnny's as well. And so this year I decided to go ahead and order from Johnny's directly. They seemed like a really great resource, and it was fantastic because not only do they sell the seeds, but they have all kinds of information on how to care for the flowers, how to grow them, what they need best. So I highly recommend that as well. That was a great change for me this year. Another person I highly recommend looking into is Laura with GardenAnswer. She's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch when it comes to gardening. They have a large property that they garden and maintain. She grew up in a garden center, and this year she's also starting a cut flower garden. So definitely check over to her page, GardenAnswer, and check out her journey as well. Let's get into some of the details of this project. So I've got some footage here from my garden. So I have a 14-foot raised bed that's about 3 feet wide, give or take a little bit. And this is the raised bed that I built last year for my cut garden, as well as some of our vegetable garden. So half of it my husband does the vegetables in, the other half is for my cut flowers. So the farthest end you see there, that's where the flowers are going to go. This receives morning sun, which works great here in Kansas because in late summer it gets really hot. And so by midday, this is actually in shade, but it does get enough sun to still work for flowers that require full sun. So for my cut flower garden, I'm trying to pick flowers that go together throughout the entire year. I don't have a lot of space to plant lots of variety and lots of color, so I'm focusing in on colors that all work together. So that includes whites, pinks, salmons, a little bit of purple. I've got some filler plants as well as some statement flowers, and all of these flowers will work together throughout the season. So it may seem simple, there's not a lot of diversity here, but I know I'll consistently get flowers that all work together in different ways and in different bouquets. So let me share my plan with you. In this raised bed, I'm primarily doing snapdragons and zinnias. I'm definitely still a novice when it comes to planting flowers, and so I'm not getting too far out there with anything super crazy. I don't do well with bulbs that can't be left in the ground year to year because I forget them and they die in the ground. So first of all, on the end of the bed, snapdragons, and this year I actually purposely bought these from Johnny Seeds that are meant for cut flower gardens. Last year I bought snapdragon seeds locally and not realizing that they were flower bed plants, which snapdragons come in lots of different sizes, and I bought the flower bed version, which is short and not great for cutting. In addition to what I have in the bed, I also have some independent pots that I'm planting up, and that includes some purple larkspur, some white dill, which is also called false Queen Anne's lace. This makes a great filler. And for the first time this year, I'm trying cress. I've never grown this before, but I've heard it's a great filler, and it was something that Aaron recommended. So I'm looking forward to that to see how it goes. What I do have under our grow lights are the snapdragons, the zinnias, the bee balm, and the cress. So I'm actually doing two different plantings. What you can see here are about 2 weeks old. The zinnias have taken off. The snapdragons are a little slower to germinate, so they're the shorter plants that you see. But I'm just getting ready to start my second planting, so that way throughout the summer, once the first set of plants begins to fade, I have a second set of plants that are just coming into bloom, and that will give me a longer period of flowers. We just have a simple setup for indoor growing. Last year I tried to start my flowers inside with our kitchen window, which faces east, and they did not get enough sunshine. They were lanky, I had them inside too long, and most of them didn't survive when I put them outside. So this year we've taken an old fluorescent lights that we had in our garage and weren't using anymore and put grow bulbs into it. And this has worked out great. Like I said, I planted these 2 weeks ago and they're looking fabulous. This has helped us significantly. The light is on a timer, so I don't have to try and remember coming in to our spare room here and turning it on and off. It does its thing. I come in and water it every couple days and check on them. But it has made the seed starting process a lot easier. And it's really easy. This is the bottom shelf on a storage rack for us that wasn't being used anyways, and has been really simple and easy to start our plants. I picked up these plant stakes just off of Amazon, and I'll try and link them below as well. And they have been so helpful. I just use a permanent marker on them and I can mark the variety, my plant date on them so I know how old the seedlings are. And then these plant tags I take with me when I go to put them out in the garden, so I know exactly which variety is where, which is really helpful. Until they start putting on the flowers, they all kind of look the same, and that's been really helpful to me. I'm really excited to share this journey with you all, from seed planting to raising the flowers, getting them in the beds, and then eventually I look forward to showing you arrangements that I make out of this cut garden. If you'd like to know more about flower cutting, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to visit a flower cutting farm. My friend Amanda at Cook's Market is a farmer florist here locally, and if you want to take a visit there, let me know below and I'll try and get over there and talk to her. Give this video a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!